Hey, good morning. Welcome back to GP Outdoors. We've got a beautiful morning today, and I got some maintenance to do. In fact, some pretty important maintenance, which I missed in the book. If you're a new tractor owner or you've just got a little bit of time and you want to follow along, grab a coffee and stick around, because I got to get this done today. I should have done it a while ago. One of the things I really appreciate is the subscriber base we have here on the channel. I've learned a lot from you folks, and I really appreciate it when you folks take the time to help me out, when you see me doing things and there's better ways or more effective or safer ways to do it. About a week ago, I was grappling some ash logs that we had felled down in the forest with Guy. Got a number of different comments. Everything was going fine. Got a great comment from a good friend of ours, Joe Lesage. As you know, Joe has his own channel. He's been around a while and he knows his stuff when it comes to tractors. So Joe left me a comment, and at the end of the comment he said to me, "By the way, GP," he said, "I noticed when you're driving along, even when the loader was empty, that the arms were kind of swinging a little more than they should have. Could have been the camera, but you may want to check the bolts that mount the fell to the frame of your tractor." And I thought to myself, I've never ever checked those bolts. So I took a quick look in my manual. So I pulled out my operator's manual for my front loader, and sure enough, Joe was right. You get down into the maintenance section in that manual on the loader, it tells you every 50 hours, you're supposed to check the torque on all of the bolts and nuts that mount your fell to the frame of the tractor. In addition to that, I decided since I had it out, I'd take a look at my tractor manual and just check the maintenance, because, you know, I did my 50 hour, it was great. I checked it 100, but I also noticed that I was supposed to also check the torque on the wheel lugs on my wheels, and I should have done that 20 or 30 hours ago. So you folks know I've had the tractor about 21 months now, and I still consider myself a new tractor owner. There's a lot to learn about these tractors, and I have to be honest, I've consulted those manuals at least a dozen or more times, looking for specific answers to questions that have come up. I haven't really given it a good thorough read in a while, and sure enough, I know I've read through those sections, but like anything else, you know, when you read something, you know, there's that much to absorb, but you only retain probably about that much. And so it just once again reinforced the fact that I got to keep going through those manuals on a regular basis, maybe every month or 2, 3 months, just to refresh myself on different pieces that you tend to not retain or you forget. So I honestly don't know what I'm going to find today. To be quite honest, I've never checked them. I know I've read through the manual, and I probably read it once a while back and just forgot about it, but I should have been doing it every 50 hours, especially for something as important as the front end loader. So we're going to get at that today. We're also going to check the torque on the wheels and make sure that they're still okay and nothing's come loose. And as you folks know on this channel, I don't practice or rehearse anything before I record it for you folks. What you see is what you get. So I don't know if there's any lugs that are loose. I don't know if any of these bolts or nuts are loose on the loader. So if you got a few minutes, let's get at it. Cheers. Wheel lugs were all great, except for one. There was only one on one of the front tires, so not too bad, but I do have to keep up my maintenance. Now we got to get to the fell mount. So as you can see, the mount itself has several different bolts, one nut on both the front that extends backwards from the fell, and there are several more in the front here, and one over top of this pipe. The bolts and the nuts, by the way, are metric on this machine. So we're going well so far. There's been 2 bolts that have been a little bit loose, but not much. Didn't take a lot to do. But I want to point out there is a bolt behind where your valve assembly is. And if you come down with me here, you can probably see that nut is almost impossible to get to. So I don't have any tool to get in there because my torque wrench can't get in there. But I'm pretty sure it's something that hopefully guys got something in the shop that can get in there somehow and we can check the rating on it. Otherwise, hopefully it's not in too bad a shape. I did put a wrench on it and try to give it a good tug. Moved a little bit, but not much. So we'll see if Guy can help me out with that at another time. Okay, so we're all wrapped up, at least for today. It was interesting doing it. The wheels or the wheel lugs are not a big problem. You got to make sure you have an extension so you can get outside the rim. But I only found, I think, one that was a little loose on one of the front tires, but I got her all torqued up. She's all good. First time I did the loader, as you know, and that was a bit of an interesting exercise. It's really difficult finding room under there to get enough leverage to crank that torque wrench. But you definitely need to have an extension. And you also need a wrench or some wrenches because a couple of them are really tight. Couldn't get into them with the torque wrench at all. And I'll show you which ones I'm talking about. So hopefully this is clear for you. This is page 25 of my loader manual. Talks about the maintenance, shows you your torque values, and it shows you the various bolts and the nut on each side of the loader arm mount that you need to work on. This bolt right above the tube, or the cylindrical tube that sits against the mount of your loader, this bolt and this nut on the front side of it, so difficult to try to get the head of your torque wrench or anything else in and around because they're so tight to this tube. So I did get a crescent wrench in there, which I know is not a torque wrench, but I did give it a good reef as best I could, although it's, you know, again, it's difficult to get leverage when you're in here, and you'll find out when you try to do it on your own tractor. Anyways, I hope this was helpful, especially for new tractor owners. As I've told you folks before, I am certainly no mechanic, and I'm not that mechanically inclined, so I may have been a little bit clumsy doing it today, but hey, I got it done myself. I'm pretty happy about that. As I mentioned, there was only one bolt on one of the front tires that I had to torque up a bit, but there were 3 bolts on this loader mount that needed about a quarter turn before I clicked the torque. So I'm glad I took a look at it. Wanted to thank Joe Lesage again because I really appreciated the help and the heads up. I always appreciate any advice or any suggestions folks have, especially from longtime experienced tractor owners. It's super helpful for me as I get to learn how to use this tractor. And I think it also helps a lot of other folks that are watching that are also new tractor owners. Thanks for sticking around with me today. If you like the channel, please click subscribe, hit the like button, and if you want to know when I'm posting new videos, just click that little bell. Have a wonderful week with your families, and I'll see you again on the next one. Cheers.